Hello everyone, Sylvie here, and welcome to the last day of 2025. Hoo-wee! What the hell kind of drugs am I on? I meant 2024. Back to the video. Can you believe it? We made it. I made it. You made it. We made it. No doubt many of you are rushing to get all of your errands done for your parties, your gatherings. I'm going to be very chill tonight. It's just going to be me and my son. But I'm definitely thinking about the year that was. Lots of highlights, some challenges, but I can't get over the fact that this year was really the year where I decided I'm going to once again bet on myself. At 49 years old, I decided to relaunch this channel. And I want to talk to you guys about that because it's worth talking about. Now, what could make a 49-year-old gray-haired Black woman want to start a YouTube channel? It's pretty simple, actually. I like challenges. And I like to also look for ways to add to my side hustles. At 49 years old, I found myself in a period of discovery. I don't believe that you ever stop learning. I started a business during the pandemic at the age of 45. Now, some might view that as late, but that's not my attitude. I like trying new things. I like challenging myself. And while I don't know what it's supposed to feel like to be 49, now 50, I do know this. I will never stop learning. I will never stop pushing myself. And I will never stop living the kind of life and going for what I deserve. So I decided to give YouTube a try. Now, it wouldn't be the first time. I've tried in the past. But I believe my previous attempts were a little bit empty because I had no strategy. I had no real plan. I just kind of threw things up there to see what would work. But this time around, being a little bit older, a little bit wiser, I thought that it could be advantageous to restart, this time with a plan. This time with more intention, with more authenticity. But I wanted to get on here and show that people my age, and if you're 40 plus and you're watching, I'm talking to you. If you feel you have something to say, I say, go on and say it. Nothing could have prepared me to start a YouTube channel only 4 months ago and end up with 182,000 views, 4,300 subscribers, and 10,000 watch hours? Like, what? And let's not forget monetizing my channel in less than 3 months. I mean, I'm just this is something I couldn't have prepared for because I went into this just thinking, I want to try something new. I want to also find a tribe. As a small business owner who doesn't have a full-time job, I'm not exposed to a lot of people. I'm not out there like that. And so the day-to-day, I'm alone a lot. I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've lived, I guess. And I want to share that. I want to share my lessons. So with all that being said, in this video, I want to talk to you guys about why starting a channel at 49, yes, at my big age, was one of the best decisions I've ever made this year. Now, before we begin, a disclaimer. I'm not a YouTube expert, and this channel is not a YouTube growth channel. I needed to make this video because I want to make it clear to all of you 40-plussers out there who are possibly thinking of starting a YouTube channel. And I'm here to tell you that I personally don't think it's half a bad idea. Now, my experience is my experience. What happens for me might not happen for you, but I believe that where you have a message, where you offer value, and where you are bringing your authentic self consistently, YouTube can open up doors that you never thought imaginable. I've only relaunched 4 months ago, and I still can't believe it. The changes that I've already seen in my life are significant. So let's talk about it. I believe that when things happen, lessons can be drawn from virtually everything. Before starting this channel, I found myself at a bit of an impasse, trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do next. I have a few side hustles that I'm doing, but I'm rethinking them. I'm thinking of tweaking one. I'm thinking of dropping one. I was thinking, I've always liked YouTube. I've always appreciated the platform for what it did for me, just in terms of the things that I've learned. And there was a part of me that wanted to give back. There was a part of me that felt I have lessons to share, but I didn't want to discuss it in any old way. I didn't want to do to YouTube what I used to do, which is just throw things up at the channel and hope for the best. I had a lot of doubts. What does anybody want with a 50-year-old gray-haired woman? If I put something out there, will somebody even be interested? Will it even matter? I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of doubts. But these doubts and fears, they stopped me from even trying. And eventually, the weight of that, the weight of the fear, it started to affect me. And it didn't make sense to me to keep that kind of fear repressed. After all, it was overcoming fear that allowed me to push myself to start a business at 45 years old during the pandemic. But there are always instances of fear creeping in to every new endeavor. And you have to just look at the fear and stare it straight in the face and say, I don't care, I'm going to do this. Win or lose, I'm going to try. That's been my attitude. So I decided to try. Embarking on this YouTube channel thing, it wasn't easy. And it still isn't. I wanted the kind of channel that people came back to. I wanted to establish a community. And so brainstorming about topics, I jotted those ideas down. I looked at what other women my age were doing on YouTube as well. It was very challenging trying to come up with just the right titles or thumbnails. YouTube is a different beast. And even though I had a background in content creation, because I've been on TikTok since 2021 and I have 9,400 followers over there, and I thought that it would easily translate. But I come to find out that it's not the same. Short form content is not the same as long form content. And there was a learning curve, but it was nothing that I couldn't overcome. Because as a consumer of YouTube videos, I knew that the answers could be found easily on YouTube. And it's as easy as just putting up in the search bar what it is that I was looking for. How to make compelling thumbnails, how to come up with good YouTube titles, thumbnail titles, video titles, all of those things I needed to get up to speed on, improving. And, I'm still learning. It's a never-ending process of learning. But that's the beauty of YouTube. is that there is so much information out there that if you just look for it, it can help you. And it has helped me immensely. And eventually, you start to get a little bit better. And then you tweak this, and then you change that. With every post, you learn. And I learned. The minute I started speaking about topics that matter to me as a 50-year-old woman with gray hair who's trying to find her way, it was these kind of topics that really resonated with people. In speaking about a topic that affected me and that I believe might relate to other people, it resulted in a video that is responsible for not only being able to get the watch hours needed to get monetized, but monetization itself. I truly felt like I hit my stride when I started speaking about topics that are familiar and that are relatable, and that I speak about these topics in my authentic voice. No BS, no fancy cameras, no fancy cuts or edits. Just talking. And before you know it, it occurred to me that there are people out there like me trying to get used to this gray hair and trying to adjust to getting older and all that that entails. There is an audience for that. And I was finding that audience, and I was conversing with that audience, and I was connecting with that audience. And it was a beautiful thing. Building a community of like-minded people was really enriching for me. It was so satisfying and so heartwarming to speak to so many of you who can relate to what I'm talking about, in sharing my unique voice and perspective on things, and having you engage with that in such a meaningful way. It's enabled me to continue to create content that's richer, that has more soul, more oomph to it. Society often equates success with youth. And if you are someone in my age range and you believe that to be true, this to me is a limiting belief. I believe that you can learn at any age. You can turn your life on its head. You can pivot. You can start over. You can rewrite your narrative. It doesn't matter your age. Your reinvention starts up here. In my 40s and now my 50s, I can say with my whole chest that I have more clarity. I have more wisdom. I have more confidence. I have more resilience at this time. This time. There is a confidence that develops as you age. There is a wisdom that you garner as you age. These things happen as you age. And if you're hip enough to it, and if you jump on it, it can take you far. I'm looking forward to the trajectory of my life right now. Even at 50 years old, even with this gray hair, even with my bad back. Good. But I'm fixing that though. I'm getting a chiropractor soon. I think that if you're interested in starting something new, whether it's a YouTube channel or not, this time that we find ourselves in is a golden time. We have the technology. We have the savvy. We've got the know-how. The information is out there. Utilize it and push forward. I encourage you all to embrace your own timing and trust in your unique journey. Because you never know. You just never know. So any of you 40-plussers out there, and you're thinking about starting something new, and maybe even starting a YouTube channel, I want you to consider this. Start with what you know and love. Maybe you're a writer. Maybe you're a baker. Whatever it is, strategize a plan. Map out a plan for how you're going to shoot it. Learn how to shoot it. Look to YouTube for resources. Leverage the free resources. So many apps come with a free version. Utilize those. There is no excuse. I'm using my phone for this video because I have not yet purchased a camera, but I will, because I'm taking this YouTube thing seriously. But it's not yet in the budget. But I can tell you right now that with the AdSense I'm making, soon enough, I'll be able to contribute to that new camera. It's contributing to some really important things for me right now. Bills, groceries. It's helping. And you know, in this economy and in this time, every little bit helps. Also remember that consistency and practice matters more than perfection. You know, there was this one video that I shot, this one right here. I shot it at random as I was out on set with my son. And he wasn't even around me at the time. He was off shooting somewhere. And I pulled out my camera and I started talking about my enjoying that moment of being on set with my son while he does something he loves. And while I don't have to be anywhere but right there. I didn't have to be at a job that I hated. I didn't have to be anywhere other than there. And it was done so randomly that I didn't think anything of it. I posted it the day that I filmed it, which is usually unheard of for me, because I like to take my time with things. You know what I'm saying? With the cuts and everything else. But I made just rough edits and I posted it. And to my shock and awe, it is the second highest performing video on my entire channel. It wasn't a perfect video, but I shot it because at the time I felt something in my spirit that said, film this moment and speak on this moment of gratitude that you have right now. I don't regret that, even though it wasn't the perfect video. Starting my page at 49 wasn't about views. It wasn't about subscribers even. It was a way for me to continue to prove to myself that reinvention is possible over and over and over again, regardless of my age. I had seen proof of it because I'd lived it. And I am so grateful and proud of myself for never giving up and for always betting on myself and for always believing that I could start over again, that I could reinvent myself, that I could pivot, that I could write a new narrative. That's what starting a YouTube channel at 49 has done for me. And I'm hoping that in me sharing this story with you, you can now start giving yourself permission to start again and start again and start again. All right, here's what I'd like for you to do. I want you to comment your age down below. and what it is that you would like to start this year so that you can feel a part of a community, so that you can feel proud of yourself, that you started something. Feel free, comment down below. I would love to read your comments. Anyway, thanks for watching. And here's hoping that your 2025 is chock-filled with new beginnings and new narratives. Take care, y'all. And Happy New Year.